only thing we haven't covered is tees. Okay, first I'm going to talk about field goal tees. What type of tees do we want to use? Okay, what should we be using? First off, in high school, you're allowed to use a 2-inch tee. Okay, it's within the rules. You also can use a 1-inch tee, or you can kick off the ground. Okay, kicking off the ground is something that we do not recommend in high school. Okay, for numerous reasons. Number one, the fields you're going to play on are not that great. Number two, it's more difficult to kick off the ground to achieve height, okay, and distance kicking off the ground. Ask anybody who's made the transition and gone into college and started kicking off the ground. It's more difficult to get height and more difficult to get distance on it, okay? The tee is a huge advantage. All right, so 2-inch tee is what you're allowed to use. If you're an 8th grader, 7th grader, 8th grader, 9th grader, 10th grader, 2-inch is what you should be using, okay? If you're a junior or senior, okay, you're kicking the ball really high, getting great height on the ball, and you're looking to progress your career, starting to think about going into the next level, then you might want to think about using a 1-inch tee. Okay, just start progressing closer to the ground. But like I explained yesterday in the demo, the only thing that's going to move, according to these tees, is your plant foot, right? Everybody remember that? Slightly narrower and further up as you progress closer to the ground. Okay, if you're having any trouble whatsoever kicking off a 1-inch tee, if you're kicking the ball a little bit low, getting them blocked, get rid of it. It's all about being successful, right? Okay, it's all about success on Friday nights. If this tee is the best one that gives you the best chance at making a field goal, use it. Okay, that's why they allow you to use it in high school. It's much easier to kick off of. Now, like I said, if you're progressing and you want to use a 1-inch, not a bad idea. Okay, if it starts hurting your kicking, go back to the 2-inch. All right, here's one thing you want to stay away from. It's a danger that even I ran into in high school is you don't want to switch back and forth. Okay, because we already discussed, it's all about having a consistent plant foot, correct? Will we all agree on that? Have we learned that at this camp? Got to be consistent with our plant foot. So if I'm using a 2-inch tee, my plant foot needs to be about in this area every single time. Now, if I say one kick, I kick off a 2-inch tee, hit it right down the middle, it's perfect. Next one, I switch to a 1-inch tee, okay, and I plant my foot in the same spot. What's going to happen to this one? Anybody know? Probably going to be low and left. Okay, because my plant foot's no longer in the right spot. Okay, so you're doing all this work to get a consistent plant foot. If you start moving around the height of the ball on the tee, it's going to start messing with your consistency. Does that make sense? So whatever tee is working for you, whether it's the 2-inch or the 1-inch in high school, stick with it. All balls you kick in practice, everything you do, whether it's a little kick pass drill or it's a full step field goal, whatever it is, using the same exact tee. Everybody got that? Question?
So if right now we're on the off season and going into junior year, should we
Yes.
just try to switch to the 1-inch since it's the off season?
I would say it's not a bad idea to mess with it. Give it a shot, see how it's working. If it's not working for you, if you're not getting enough height, use the 2-inch.
Try a couple
But-
of days or just one day?
No, I would say a couple days. A couple days because there is some adjusting to it. Okay, the time to try stuff like that is the off season. Know that. Okay, in the middle of your season, if you're kicking well, is not the time to say, I think I need to start kicking off a 1-inch because maybe these colleges are going to look at me more. And that is definitely not the case. They don't even ask what type of tee you're kicking off of. So don't think you're impressing anybody by kicking off of a 1-inch tee or off the ground, okay? It's all about results. All right, and we'll talk about, I can cover that now, but it's all about, if you want to get recruited, it's all about kicking off. Okay, having that big time kickoff leg. So, you know, field goals, if you're kicking off the ground, it's not impressing anybody if you're not kicking the ball off deep anyway. Okay, so don't get all caught up in that. Now, kickoff tees. Got two different types. We got a 2-inch tee. This is what's allowed in high school. This is a 1-inch tee that's required to use in college and in the NFL. Any reason? Anybody know why you're required in college and the NFL to use this tee? No, 1-inch. Why? You don't have to use this exact model, but why do you have to kick off a 1-inch in college?
It's harder.
Okay, because the problem was the kickoffs were going too deep. Too high, too much hang time, too deep, too many touchbacks with the 2-inch tee. So they said, all right, let's back them up, make them kick off of a lower tee. Kicks will have less hang time. We'll see more returns. That's why they did it. Does that make sense? So why, if I'm in high school, would I want to kick the ball lower and shorter? Doesn't make sense. Okay. So this, if you're in high school, is not the tee for you. If you are kicking off this 2-inch tee and you just can't get used to it, you just really are popping the ball up too much. You know, some guys have a little bit different swing plane and really get a lot of height, you know, initial height off their foot. Maybe you need to think about a 1-inch tee. But for the most part, most of you guys should be using a 2-inch tee Because it gives you an advantage. That's why they allow you to use it. Everybody understand that? All right.